Welcome everyone to Feelz Right Quiz Night. Woo! I am your host, the Quizzard, and this is the sidekick, Mr. Jeffords.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thrilled to be coming to you live from our living room to yours tonight. A big welcome to all the contestants and the teams out there, and also a big welcome to all of our stream queens watching live on YouTube. I know that there are about 3 or 4 of you, and we love you. We made it up to 15 subscribers on YouTube this week, so feeling really, really proud of ourselves over here at the Feelz Right Quiz Night. Yes. Okay, so before we get started with our fun on a mun, definitely don't want to be remiss and neglect to light the Jeff Probst candle again like I did last week up till late. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Guide us tonight in the quiz. Okay, all right, so Jeff is lit, and I am, and you are, I think, ready to have some hashtag fun on a mun. If you haven't yet, please rename yourselves in the Zoom. For those of you who are contestants, rename yourself with your team name. And those of you who are out there streaming, just be the queens that you are, and you can just scream your answers out at the TV or computer or phone or pad or however it is that you are watching tonight's show. Okay, so before we get into the game, I'm gonna pass things over to Sidekick Mr. Jeffords for a recap on points.
Pass accepted. Hello. I know you all want to know how you did last week. I will say, one team ruined the curve for the rest of you, but that's okay because you all did very well. So let's get into it. 3rd place from last week, only packed 3 pairs of undies. Shaved mango.
Yes.
Congrats. 3rd place.
Okay.
Very good.
A 2-way tie for 3rd.
2nd place, though, a little more competitive here. Hanging in. Cinnamon Buns, The Damn It Janets, Mavis Baker Band, Nom Chomp, My Team Will Go On, Celine Dion, and Our Best Friends.
Yes. Whoa.
Yes.
Fierce 2nd place scenario.
But talk some trash in the chat to the only team in 1st place last week. They really ruined it for everyone else. They were just that good. Grace and Bobby came through. Slammed it.
I don't even know if they're here tonight, but
typical.
If they're not, well, they just, took a win and hit the road for week 3.
But what does that mean overall? You might be wondering, because that was just week 2. So week 1, week 2 combined, where do you stand? Well, here's where you stand. Overall, on the board, 3rd place, currently, because don't forget, it's still anyone's game, and I do mean that. 3rd place overall, we have El Rayo del Norte, we have Chocolate Boys NYC, we have the Damn It Janets, Grace and Babe, and Hardcore Tet.
Yes.
Which means, right above that, 2nd place overall, we have the Mavis Baker Band, Nom Chomp, and Our Best Friends. Okay? Because 1st place, the icing on top, really warming it up. 1st place, currently, is Cinnamon Buns.
Cinnamon Buns!
Wow, with a lot of Z's. Cinnamon Buns.
With a lot of Z's and an extra glaze.
Exactly.
Okay, wow. So, but still anyone's game. All right, so before we get into round 1 current events, just going to touch on a few things. Number 1, logistics. Those of you who are contestants in the game playing across 2 screens, I hope that the flashcard helped you with the muting and the unmuting of it all. We'll keep that up this week so that you can sort of coordinate your team, because don't forget, with the bonus of more brains comes the complication of the communication coordination. We always say that here, and it is true in life as well. Secondly, prizes. Those are going to start to be announced next week, so that's pretty exciting. And other than that, please don't forget, you all agreed to go by the honor system.
Please.
The honor system. What's in your brain, not what's at your fingertips. Just go with what you know. Okay, so given that, I think it feels right to launch into
round 1, oh God, which is, as always, current events.
Okay, round 1, question 1. Here we go.
Whew. Okay.
One school is definitely reopening its doors this fall with the reboot of this iconic TV show. NBC's streaming platform Peacock dropped a new teaser for this reboot in which one familiar character returns as a guidance counselor and another of its stars returns as the governor of California along with a cast of new students. What is the show? What is the show? One school definitely reopening its doors with the reboot of this iconic TV show. NBC's streaming platform Peacock dropped a new teaser for the reboot in which one familiar character will return as a guidance counselor and another of the show's stars will return as the governor of California along with a whole new bevy of new students. What is the show? Okay, question 2. Russia's announcement that it has approved the first coronavirus vaccine has been met with skepticism by public health officials around the world. The drug was administered on monkeys and some humans, but has not gone through comprehensive human testing. Still, Russian officials are planning to start inoculating teachers and medical workers within the month with the vaccine that is being named after the first satellite launched into orbit by the Soviet Union. What are they calling the vaccine? What are they calling the vaccine? Russia's announcement that it has approved the first coronavirus vaccine has been met with skepticism. It was administered on monkeys and some humans, but it has not gone through comprehensive human testing. Still, the Russian officials are planning to start inoculating teachers and medical workers within the month with the vaccine that is being named after the first satellite launched into orbit by the Soviet Union. What is the name? What are they calling the vaccine? Okay. Question 3. In late July, an oil tanker ran aground in a coral reef and spilled 1,000 tons of fuel across the coastline, some of it protected wetlands, of this African country. Now, the ship has split in two, and another 2,000 tons of oil is spilling into the Indian Ocean. Off the coast of what African island nation is this environmental disaster currently unfolding? Okay, I'm going to repeat the question again. In late July, an oil tanker ran aground in a coral reef and spilled 1,000 tons of fuel across the coastline, some of it protected wetlands, of this African country. Now, the ship has split in two, and another 2,000 tons of oil has spilled into the Indian Ocean. Off the coast of what African island nation is this environmental disaster unfolding? Stream Queens, how are you holding up out there? Hopefully well. I think it's time for me to take my first sip of you know what. I've got my full glass of gin. We can cheers.
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 Happy Monday.
You're already halfway into yours. Like I said last week, I love a botanical. Okay, here we go. Question 4. Round 1, current events. Question 4. Media mogul Sumner Redstone, who turned a family drive-in movie business into a global empire that included Viacom, Paramount Pictures, Simon & Schuster, and CBS, has died at the age of 97. Redstone was well known for his ruthlessness and also for the personal and family drama that swirled around him. Don't even get me started on the drama with his daughter Sherry. He is also famous for this 3-word quote, often attributed to Bill Gates, who said it in 1996. The quote was also repeated by Rupert Murdoch in 1999. What is it? What is the three-word quote often attributed to Bill Gates and also repeated by Rupert Murdoch that was first uttered by Sumner Redstone, who turned a family drive-in movie business into a global empire that included Viacom, Paramount Pictures, Simon & Schuster, and CBS? Three-word quote. Okay. Question 5. AMC will begin reopening movie theaters in the United States next Thursday, but 2 big Hollywood movies came out this week, but only in Canada. Because Canada is considered part of the domestic box office, both films will become the de facto highest grossing movies of the summer. For half a point each, what are the 2 films? AMC reopening movie theaters in the US next Thursday, but 2 big Hollywood movies came out this week, but only in Canada. Because Canada is considered part of the domestic box office, both of these films will become the de facto highest grossing movies of the summer. For half a point each, what are the 2 films? Okay, the lines are now open. If you are on a 2-team screen, feel free to mute the Zoom so that you can discuss with your compadre. And if you're a stream queen, kick back with your drink and think about what answers you may or may not have gotten right while I take a sip of this massive glass of gin. If you need a question repeated, you can throw that up in the chat bar. Trivia Newton John Travolta is asking about the necklace, which has found its way onto the exterior of my shirt. I'm just gonna tuck that back in. I'll bring you up to speed on the necklace of Triv. Wow, we've got some good listeners out there today. I'm pretty impressed that nobody needs a repeat. That's either a testament to my clarity pre-gin or a testament to your listening skills now that this game is so intense. Get those answers into the sidekick, Mr. Jeffords. I see he's getting a bevy of responses. Okay, I see some thinking faces out there. Oh God, it's my mom. Looks pretty relaxed. I think he may have done quite well this time. Cinnamon Buns looking very comfortable sitting in first place and also taking that luxe lifestyle to the game. Kens and Karens, I think just blew me a kiss. I'm not sure, but I'll take it. Nom Chomp looking very confident. Shariva Baby, I see a phone. Hopefully that is for emailing, and a shaking head no, which might mean not super confident on these answers. Ross's Boss, back for more. Woo! Yeah, fist pumps. Awesome. They are excited, which I hope means that they did well. Only packed 3 pairs of undies. Has a slightly foggy screen. Might need to get that computer checked out at some point. Baby Sharks looking mighty confident. Lone Wolf, shout out to Lone Wolf, who I watched perform improv tonight in a Zoom session and absolutely killed it. Hilarious, great work, Lone Wolf. All right, if you need more time, please flash a thumb up or raise your hand. Thank you, Dr. Zismore, looking a little nervous. Okay, it looks like everybody has got their answers in, except for my team will go on Celine Dion and Florida Fact Hunt. Okay, my team will go on Celine Dion and Florida Fact Hunt. You know, pull it together. You've got about 15 seconds. Vino Verite, I'm going to join you in that sip and get my gin going again. I'm already, like last week, I'm already down a third within the first, 10 minutes. Mavis Baker Band enjoying a nice light snack. Okay. All right, so closing the window of opportunity to submit those answers in 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. God, okay. So, before we get to the answers, just very quickly, we are going to
Tough, guys, tough.
punch in on our best friends. Our best friends, I'm going to unmute you. I hope you're decent. And if not, this is going to be quite the show. Our best friends, are you there?
Hi, we're here. We are. I'm actually still
Our
sending
best
my
friends,
email.
are you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, not getting a response from our best friends.
Oh,
Been
no,
unfriended.
We've been unfriended. Our best friends, I thought I saw you, but I guess you might have walked away from your computer, or who knows. Well, the reason I was going to bring our best friends, sorry, I'm going to mute you again. The reason I was going to bring our best friends on here is because Otrivia Newton-John had a question about this necklace, and in fact, the necklace actually came from our best friends. It's a loaner. This is not, I do not own this necklace, but I've had it for probably
Years.
about a year. Yeah, but I'm just borrowing it. But I don't really know where our best friends picked it up. Perhaps on one of the many luxury cruises that our best friends have been on in the past few years, including this past holiday season. Anyway, maybe we'll be able to get our best friends in here later on to tell the necklace story, but who knows where our best friends are. Okay, so let's jump right into the answers for round 1, current events. Okay, here we go. Question 1. One school definitely reopening its doors with the reboot of... I was trying to think of how the theme song went, and the Friends theme song came into my head, which is not correct. One iconic... What, you know?
No, that's just a clue.
Oh, that's a clue. Okay, the answer to question 1 is Saved by the Bell. 'Cause I'm saved by the bell. When I was out and saw the warning and it's something down the zone and then my dog gave on my home last night. Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell coming back. Zach Morris, the governor of California. Jessie Spano, helping others maybe with what she went through as a guidance counselor.
Wow.
Okay, question 2. Russia's announcement that it has approved the first coronavirus vaccine has been met with skepticism. Named after the first satellite launched into orbit by the Soviet Union, they are calling the vaccine Sputnik 5 or Sputnik the 5th. Sputnik 5 or Sputnik the 5th. Sputnik 5. Question 3. In late July, this one breaks my heart. Oil tanker ran aground in a coral reef and spilled 1,000 tons of fuel, and now another 2,000 tons of fuel are being dumped out into some protected wetlands in the famous blue lagoons of Mauritius. Mauritius, the small African island nation east of Madagascar. Mauritius. Mauritius. Ken's and Karen's asking if we get it if we said Sputnik. That is a question for the sidekick, Mr. Jeffords.
I will say a lot of you just said Sputnik, but several of you said Sputnik 5. So I have to give half a point for Sputnik.
Half a point for Sputnik.
So a lot of you getting half a point, but those of you who said Sputnik 5, which is the real answer, getting that full
It's all in the
point.
details. It's all in the details. It feels right when the details are bang on. you know? Okay, question 4. Media mogul Sumner Redstone kicked the bucket at 97. He had a good run, lots of drama, especially with his daughter Sherry, and he is famous for uttering this 3-word phrase, often attributed to Bill Gates, and Rupert Murdoch said it too. The 3-word phrase is, content is king. Content is king. Okay? I was battling a gin burp at the same time as I was uttering that iconic 3-word phrase. Might not have had quite enough for dinner tonight. We'll see how the rest of this show goes. Okay, question 5. AMC will begin reopening movie theaters in the US next Thursday, but 2 big Hollywood movies came out in Canada where basically people have their shit together more, so things like people getting together in public can happen. 2 films, half a point each. Film number 1, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, which Toronto's Now magazine has called, quote, baffling, and Unhinged, starring Russell Crowe, that IndieWire describes as a pointless thriller. Unhinged and the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. Those are the 2 answers that we were looking for there. Okay, so before we move on to round 2, a friendly reminder to everyone, we are doing so amazingly well with our fundraising campaign for the Ali Forney Center. Contestants, if you have yet to, please make your contribution to the Ali Forney Center on our donation page linked in the email that I sent you this week. And those of you watching on YouTube, Stream Queens, we are raising money for the Ali Forney Center, which does amazing work on behalf of the homeless LGBTQIA+ youth community here in New York City. And yeah, it's just really tremendous work and support that they offer for a very vulnerable group. So awesome that we have all been able to come together and do what we've been able to do thus far. And if you have yet to make your contribution and are able to, please do. Okay, so I think it feels right to move on to
Round 2, which is fruit groups. Fruit
groups. Okay, inspired by last week's question that referred to the bebopping band, the California Raisins, this week we've decided to take a tour into other bands and musical acts who derive their name from fruits. So see if you can squeeze the answers out of the following questions and taste the sweet nectar of getting it right. Okay, so here we go. Question 1, round 2, question 1. Much like the music of the band that bears its name, this fruit bounces and floats. Widely and wildly popular in the mid-90s, this band's music poured out of CD players everywhere, despite having only formed in 1990 when a then 18-year-old female vocalist with a broken Casio keyboard under her arm answered a classified ad posted by a singerless band. Key to the band's mainstream popularity was the singer's vocal quality, with its signature blend of sweetness and searing bitterness. Also good descriptors of the fruit from which the band draws its name. What is the name of the band and ergo the fruit? Much like the music of the band that bears its name, this fruit bounces and floats. Very extremely popular in the mid-90s. This music was blasting out of CDs, players everywhere, despite having only formed in 1990 when a then 18-year-old female vocalist rolled on up in response to a classified ad posted by a singerless band. Key to the band's mainstream popularity was this singer's vocal quality with its signature blend of sweetness and searing bitterness. also good descriptors of the fruit from which the band draws its name. What is the name of the band and ergo the fruit? Okay. All right, for question 2, I'm going to need a little support from the sidekick.
Happy to be here. Happy to support
Please pause
you.
the soundtrack. We are only going to be doing this once, so prick up your ears, and here we go. Goddess on a mountain top, burning like a silver flame, the summit of beauty and love, and Venus was her name. She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it.
Got it.
Got it.
Got it.
Got it. Oh, I'm your Venus. I'm your fire, your desire. What band originally sang that song? What band originally sang that song? Okay, sidekick, please cue the soundtrack.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, everyone just needs to come down from that one. Get ready for question 3 after this sip of gin. Okay. Although I have to say, I wouldn't mind another crack at it. I think it was tighter in rehearsal.
Yeah,
but
for sure. For sure, that was my fault.
It's
I apologize.
Oh, it's nobody's fault. It's just,
It was my fault.
Okay. All right, question 3. Here we go. Known as the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry left an indelible mark on the music industry with such hits as Roll Over Beethoven and Johnny Be Good. His big break came when he left St. Louis and landed in Chicago, where he met this trailblazing blues singer whose song Rollin' Stone was the inspiration for the Rolling Stones band name, and about whomst Jimi Hendrix said, "I first heard him as a little boy, and it scared me to death." Who is the non-fruit named artist that gave Barry his burst? Known as the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry left an indelible mark on the music industry with such hits as Roll Over Beethoven and Johnny Be Good. His big break came when he left St. Louis and landed in Chicago, where he met this trailblazing blues singer whose song Rollin' Stone was the inspiration for the Rolling Stones band name, and about whomst Jimi Hendrix said, "I first heard him as a little boy, and it scared me to death." Who is the non-fruit named artist that gave Barry his burst? Okay. Question 4 in fruit groups. Stream queens, hope you're holding up okay out there and doing well. Getting some of these answers. Contestants, the competition is fierce. Here we go. Question 4. First cultivated during the Arab rule in Sicily in the 9th and 10th centuries, this fruit, which has 3 varieties, Moro, Tarocco, and Sanguinello, is now considered one of Sicily's most treasured crops. The fruit is also the moniker of this prolific songwriter, performer, and music producer who has worked with the likes of Solange, Carly Rae Jepsen, Blondie, and Mariah Carey. Who's the artist and ergo the fruit? First cultivated during the Arab rule in Sicily in the 9th and 10th centuries, this fruit, which has 3 varieties, Moro, Tarocco, and sanguinello. Never spoken a word of Italian in my life, so if we can get our best friends on the line later, we'll get a pronunciation correction. Is now considered one of Sicily's most treasured crops. The fruit is also the moniker of this prolific songwriter, performer, and music producer who has worked with the likes of Solange, Carly Rae Jepsen, Blondie, and Mariah Carey. Who is the artist and ergo the fruit? Okay. Question 5.
Wow.
Fronted by Evan Dando, the Lemonheads gained popularity in the 90s after they abandoned their punk rock roots and bore headfirst into the dulcet sounds of radio-friendly rock. Their cover of this zesty Simon and Garfunkel tune remains at the core of their enduring popularity. What is the song? Ross's boss is asking a question about the prior.
That was, question 3. They're asking about it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right. Okay, well, we'll go back to that later. Fronted by Evan Dando, the Lemonheads gained popularity in the 90s after they abandoned their punk rock roots and bore headfirst into the dulcet sounds of radio-friendly rock. Their cover of this zesty Simon and Garfunkel tune remains at the core of their enduring popularity. What is the song? Okay, so a couple repeats necessary here. So number 3 and question 2. But the question is, what band originally sang the song? Although I did get a message from Huckleberry Travel, shout out to them, who's saying that they don't believe that they were the original singers. Now, perhaps the sidekick hasn't. Well,
I'm not sure, but just keep in mind that the round is fruit
groups. Fruit.
They're not the original.
Groups.
This is probably how you know it.
Yes. Okay, so hopefully that makes things fair. Okay, so Hammocks are asking for question 1. Hard Quartet is seconding that. So just let's remove the question of the song for question 2 is, what is the band that would make logical sense in the fruit groups category as it relates to that song? And apologies if I got it wrong. I will fact check that again later. In the meantime, question 1, question 3, and question 2. No. Question 1 and question 3. Okay. So, question 1. Much like the music that bears its name, this fruit is bouncy. It bounces and floats. Hugely popular in the mid-90s, this music was blasting out of CD players everywhere. Despite having only formed in 1990 when a then 18-year-old female vocalist with a broken Casio keyboard under her arm answered a classified ad posted by a singerless band. Key to the band's mainstream popularity was the singer's vocal quality, which could be described as a signature blend of sweet and searingly bitter, much like the fruit from which the band draws its name. What is the name of the band, and ergo the fruit? As it relates to question number 3, known as the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry got his big break when he ended up in Chicago and met this trailblazing blues singer whose song Rolling Stone was the inspiration for the Rolling Stones band name, and about whom Jimi Hendrix said, "I first heard him as a little boy and it scared me to death." Who is the non-fruit named blues artist from Chicago that gave Barry his burst? Okay? All right. Okay, so that should satisfy everyone for now. If you need another one repeated, please ask.
I don't know where he went.
I'll be right back.
See you in a minute.
Okay, sorry, I just had to get something. And now I need to get something else. Okay, if you need more time, please flash a thumbs up. Oh, you know what I realized? I neglected to flash the card. Shoot, I'm sorry everyone, but I'll do my best. Okay, only packed 3 pairs of undies, needs more time. Florida fact hunt number 1 needs more time. All right, we've got about Nobody Beats the Wiz, I think needs a little bit more time. So you've got about another 30 seconds. Trivial Pursuers, how are you doing on this round? Hope you're holding up okay.
Here we go.
All right, here come the answers, fast and furious, flooding in. Okay, about 15 more seconds on this round. El Rayo del Norte number 2, looking very confident. El Rayo del Norte 1, looking a little more tepid. Hard Quartet, I trust you did well on this round. I think you probably did too. Thank you, Dr. Zismore. As well as Toilet Vapor, a lot of classic 90s bands, which means you would probably do well in this round.
Love the fruits in the 90s.
You too, oh God, it's my mom. I know you love the 90s as much as I do. Okay, so 5 more seconds to get your answers into the sidekick. Golden Squirrel friends, is that a little, are you fanning yourself? Yes, I love that. Fan. Oh, okay, it's on theme. I see, yes, I love it. Okay, closing the round for submissions in 3, 2, 5, 4,
Ooh.
3, 2.
Tricky.
Okay, flashing the card, which I may or may not have forgotten to do after round 1, to bring everybody back into this zone for answers. Stream Queens, I hope you're holding up out there okay. All right, here we go. Let's get into some answers. Question 1, hugely popular in the mid-90s, formed in 1990, so saw really quick, rapid ascent to success. Their mainstream popularity was the singer's vocal quality, the sweetness and the bitterness, also descriptors of the fruit from which the band draws its name, the Cranberries. The Cranberries. And an interesting factoid, they actually weren't originally called the Cranberries, they were called the Cranberry Saw Us. The Cranberry Saw Us. The Cranberry Sauce.
Terrible.
Not great. But they were like 18, and then they went with the Cranberries, and I have distinct memories of listening to Linger on the radio from Everyone Else Is Doing It, Why Can't We, or the album something like that. And in fact, I remember calling into a radio station and requesting that song, and I got on the air. So that was huge for me in '93. Okay, question 2. The band that falls within the category of fruit groups that sang the song Venus is Bananarama. Bananarama.
Hard Quartet says Shocking Blue was the original.
Okay, so apparently Shocking
That's what I
Blue was the original. They have that jogging around their noggin.
60s maybe, somebody said that.
Okay, so apologies on this end. Sometimes a few facts fall through the sieve. That is my brain. And apologies for that error. Also, just would like to, a little factoid about Bananarama. One of the members of the band left the band to be replaced by somebody else, but after she left, she formed the band Shakespeare's Sister, which was another band that had the song Stay that I loved, probably around the same time that I loved Linger by the Cranberries. Okay, question 3. Chuck Berry got his burst from this blues artist, after whose song Rolling Stone inspired the Rolling Stones band name, Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters gave Chuck Berry his verse after he arrived in Chicago. Question 4. First cultivated during the Arab rule in Sicily in the 9th and 10th centuries, this fruit, Moro, Tarocco, and Sanguinello, gonna check in on our best friends to see if we can get a pronunciation correction there. Also worked with the likes of Solange, Carly Rae Jepsen, Blondie, and Mariah Carey, so essentially is a gay icon at this point. Blood orange. Blood orange is the fruit, and blood orange is the artist. Question 5. The Lemonheads gained popularity in the 90s after they turned their attention to radio rock. Their cover of the zesty Simon and Garfunkel tune, Mrs. Robinson, has been at the core of their enduring popularity. And I lunged at a frame because I remembered midway through the question that I have this vinyl. You know what that means.
Yeah, didn't you know every week there's a round about what vinyls?
We're gonna listen. That one wasn't even intentional, but that means that tomorrow we're getting back into this puppy. And this is a great album. I think that this is something that Brief Skin Contact would probably like to have in their record collection, but I can't be sure. So, only packed 3 pairs of undies has a question for half a point for guessing the fruit. I have a point for orange, Spanish Inquisition.
I'm not convinced.
Not convinced. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna try to unmute our best friends just really quickly. Our best friends, are you there?
Hi. Yes.
Our best
Hi.
friends, are you there?
We are here. Can you hear us?
It would appear no.
No
So,
longer our best friend.
our best friends also didn't rename
Everybody else
themselves,
here.
but lucky for us, we know their real name
Everyone
and their team name. Sorry, our best friends. And sorry, Otrivia Newton-John. We're gonna have to check in with them next week, or maybe just later on tonight to make sure that they're safe in their homes, or home, singular. Okay, so that is round 2. Before we dive into round 3, we have a couple of things to get through. So let us start with checking in on if they're here. They're here. Okay. Okay. Absolute Ho, I'm asking to unmute you, so if you would accept that.
Accepted.
Are you there? Absolute Ho, are you there?
We're here. Can you hear us?
Accepted.
Wow, I am really striking out with the trying to get people in on this scenario. I'm not. Are they muted?
We're here.
Permission to spy.
Okay, so Absolute Ho, I'm just gonna leave you unmuted for now, and if you hear me and can get it together, just speak at some point. And
Tough
We'll
crowd.
never get it
We'll
together.
never-
We're here.
Okay, but
I'm
we
sorry.
all hear them.
Mhm.
No, we don't hear them.
We don't hear them.
We're
So maybe it's.
Well, in that case, I have a few things to get off of my chest.
hear you.
Oh!
Oh.
Darn. I thought I had a forum to speak my mind. Yeah. Hello. How's it going?
Hello.
What do you want to say? What do you want to get off your?
All of the, disparaging.
We're not getting very much right.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're upset about your performance tonight thus far.
We're personally discouraged, but
It's
we're learning.
gonna send me to Spotify to listen to some Banana Rama, I'll tell you that much.
I believe that last week your team was in first or second place, so you can't be feeling too badly about your current standing in the Feelz Right Quiz Night standings.
that's great.
Like
Yeah.
all ancient epics, we must have a nadir in the middle, the second act, and then we rise again like a Lazarus.
Mhm.
I'm looking at you, Melissa Ferrara.
Our best friends. Okay, so now listen. Obviously we know each other, but perhaps you could introduce yourself to the Feelz Right family. This is Team Absolute Ho, and what are your real names?
I'm Lauren.
Hi, I'm Nick. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
A question for you. You are both absolutely brilliant comedians and performers, and I'm wondering how it has been during the lockdown without the ability to get up in front of a live audience and shake your groove thing. How have you been coping with that?
Oh, well, thank you, Stephen, and likewise. Um, we, I've really been resting it. I had a period before COVID happened that I was feeling completely non-curious and not wanting to push myself. And that's always a sign for me that I need to take a rest or kind of step away. And then it kind of went out of my hands. So I've been doing absolutely nothing, and it's been very restorative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've taken up ventriloquism. No, not really. But kudos to anyone who has.
Mm-hmm.
You want to just try some on the spot anyway, seeing as you just essentially pimped yourself?
Yeah.
Steven, I thought you'd never ask.
Okay, wait, hold on. Maybe you can
That was not real.
ventriloquize
Folks,
Lauren?
Hmm?
You ventriloquize Lauren?
It kind of looks like that from how we're sitting, right?
Yeah, a little bit. So maybe just try a little 1-2.
Okay.
Here we go.
Go ahead, Nick. No, I'm the puppet,
Oh,
and
you're the puppet, okay.
the voice.
now, Lauren, I hear that you've had a very restorative time in quarantine. That's right. I have taken a lot of me time and checking in with myself. Stuff like that. Stuff to where you just amuse yourselves after a glass of gin.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to know your partner better by having them say what you would write for them to say.
I see. Right.
As ventriloquists do. No, but it's been super fun. It's been a delightful summer, all things considered, in quarantine. We've had a lot of fun. I think it's been very restful in some respects, aside from the psychic trauma that we're all enduring.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that you're seeing kind of a silver lining on everything. What would you say are sort of two unexpected, not two, but I don't know, 1, 2, whatever, however many you want, some unexpected discoveries that you've made in this time of rest and recovery? What are some new things that have come up for you or come to mind or that you've learned or discovered?
Well, we're currently in Albany where my mom lives and with my family, and it's been very interesting to wake up Monday through Friday and feel so different than if you're waking up in New York City with a job and things on your mind. To wake up in a place where you feel very, very still reminds me of how I like to wake up, and I think I'm trying to employ some of those changes because I'm an anxious waker. I wake up with pants on, as I like to say, where I'm like, let's go. Why did we stop? Let's keep going. So I think I'm going to try to bring a little bit of that back to us, when we go home to the city at the end of the month.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds good. I can relate to what you're saying for sure. Yeah. Nick, how about you?
That is great. I echo all those sentiments, beautifully put. I enjoy being in the country with lots of these little kitty cats that are crawling around at our feet. And as I was talking to a friend today about how when I was a little, it was like when I was a wee Nicholas, I had a toy Hess truck, and you can see some big old trucks around the Albany area. We've been riding in some pickup trucks. So I'm just discovering my love of trucks again after being a long-time New Yorker, a long-time subway rider who is getting out there with some four-wheel drive.
What is it about a truck that gets your gears going?
Yeah, it's mainly the vroom vroom, and you can put a lot of stuff. It's interesting to be a metropolitan city dweller because when you commute, you carry everything on your person. You travel with things in your arms, and if you've got a flatbed of a pickup truck, the sky's the limit.
La croix. A lot of La croix.
A la croix.
Okay, well, listen, thank you two so much for being here and being a part of the Feelz Right fam. Sending you a big hug, and I look forward to when I get to see you next again in person.
Likewise, both
Thank
of
you,
you.
cuties.
Thank you
Great
for
job.
featuring us.
Wonderful hosting.
And now I just need to And then, jeez.
You gotta mute them.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so I think they've muted themselves. Okay, so here we go. Now, before we move on to round 3, every week we have a new sponsor, and this week you may or may not have noticed, because there's a candle blocking it, that there is a new sticker on the back of this computer, and this is the sticker from the company called On the Sly, and today we are sponsored by On the Sly. Absolutely thrilled to give a plug to my friend Ricky, who I met when he was my bike mechanic, and he has since moved on from being a bike mechanic to designing his own line of super chic, super functional bike, city, urban activewear, and I recently picked up from him a new bag that I am so excited about. It's called the Booty Pack, and it looks like this. You can either clip it onto your bike rack and use it as kind of like a pannier bag, or you can untuck the straps and wear it, cross chest or around your waist. And what is really, really, really cool about the stuff that Ricky is making under the banner of On the Sly is that it's all repurposed from old military stuff. So he goes around and he finds all this old military stuff, and then he repurposes it and turns it into really, really cool, chic bags and jackets with more stuff coming. This was originally like a desert camo, and you can see some of the kind of prints on it that he dyed this gorgeous shade of purple. And then here I can loosen these straps and put a yoga mat through here. So Ricky, super proud of you for doing it. Oh, and I really love he has the slogan, "Made for War, best used in peace," and a lot of the stuff is super colorful and reflects all the colors of the rainbow. So I think he's really onto something. And if you're looking for a really cool, one-of-a-kind, unique kind of city functional item, check out On the Sly. We'll repost some of his Instagrams on our Instagram so you can follow along. But big ups to you, Ricky, and really proud and excited for you to be launching your own thing. Okay? All right, so that's On the Sly. Okay, so now we are going to, it feels right to launch into.
Well, I think first they want to know how they're doing
of course.
so far.
I am so excited.
Guys, okay, just to let you know, we're 2/3 of the way through the night, blah, 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 / we're almost done. And just to let you know, so far in 3rd place we have Cinnamon Buns, Mashly, my team will go on, Celine Dion, Nom Chomp, Rosie, and the Triviters. In 2nd place so far, Hardcore Tets.
Yes.
Our best friends
Okay,
who were
they
trying to talk to us,
here.
but we were apparently had to
Who
be
knows?
Sleepy in the Suburbs, and Steamboat Willie
Yeah!
in 7th place. That leaves only one team in 1st place so far tonight, but we still have one round to go, so don't forget it's still
Anyone's game.
1st place team so far tonight is Squidlets, aka Return of the Squids.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
So this is intense.
So one more round. Here we go.
Okay, so now that the scores are out of the way, it feels right to launch into
SWEATFLIX, aka Hot Films.
So, as you know, the past couple weeks, tonight, not as much, but still, last week and the week before, we were pretty much full on drenched. I don't think I had to really wipe myself down. That I was just doing. But the last couple of weeks have been particularly warm. So inspired by the hot summer heat, we are going to be doing scenes from some hot movies, and you need to identify the film from which the scene hath been plucked. Okay, so here we go.
We'll only be doing these once.
We are going to be only doing these once, and
So
we also have
one
a sound.
night only.
We also have a soundtrack to accompany these. Okay, so
So pay attention.
here we go. Scene one.
And action.
If you were thinking the same thing I was.
No, Maggie.
Why not?
Will you keep your voice down?
No! I know you better than you think. I've seen that look before, and I know what it used to mean, and it still means the same thing now.
You're not the same woman now, Maggie.
Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I know
No,
that?
what, Maggie?
That I've gone through this horrible transformation. I've become hard and frantic and cruel.
You plan on meeting Big Daddy's blame?
Oh, Brick. I get so lonely.
Everybody gets that.
Living with someone you love can be lonelier than living entirely alone. If the one that you love doesn't love you. And scene. What film is that from? Round 2, SWEATFLIX. Scene 2.
Mm-hmm. Action.
Can I make a quick announcement before we finish up?
Sure thing. Door opens, slams into a girl with a tray.
I want to thank all of you for a terrific summer. Cooking for all you nice people has really helped me get over the fact that I fought in the Vietnam War. Have a great winter. I'm gonna go hump the fridge.
What?
Yes, folks, it's true. I said I'm gonna go hump the fridge. And scene. Okay.
All right,
Right.
that was scene 2.
Let's give them a quick second to process
Think
all
about
of
that.
that.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I'm gonna whet my whistle.
All right.
Almost through this gin. Okay, now here we go.
Ready for scene 3?
Scene 3.
Here we go. And action. No, that's scene. Hold on. That's scene 4.
Oh, sorry.
Ignore
Okay, sorry.
his physical life. That was
Sorry.
the wrong
Ignore my
scene.
physical
Here we go.
life.
Here we're
wrong
starting
scene.
over.
Okay, so I'm starting over. Scene 3.
Amateurs. Regional. Non-equity. Here we go.
I have this thing about saxophone players, especially tenor sax.
Really?
I don't know what it is, they just curdle me. All they have to do is play 8 bars or come to me, my melancholy baby, and my spine turns to custard. I get all goose pimply all over and I come to them
Is that so?
every time.
You know, I play tenor sax.
But you're a girl, thank goodness. That's why I joined this band. Safety first. Anything to get away from those bums.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're like. You fall for them. You really love them. You think, oh, this is going to be the biggest thing since the Graf Zeppelin. The next thing you know, they're borrowing money from you. They're spending it on other dames and betting on horses.
You don't say.
Then one morning you wake up, the guy's gone, the saxophone's gone, all that's left behind is a pair of old socks and a tube of toothpaste, all squeezed out. So, you pull yourself together, you go on to the next job, the next saxophone player, it's the same thing all over again. You see what I mean? Not very bright.
Brains aren't everything.
I can tell you one thing, it's never gonna happen to me again, ever. I'm tired of getting the fuzzy end of the lollipop.
And scene. Okay, let that filter through your conscious, subconscious. See what that wrangles up within.
You know it.
You know it. Okay. All right. Here we go. Question 3. Now I can really bring this physical life
To
to
life.
life.
All right, and action. You can stand there with me if you want, but you have to agree not to talk about the heat.
I'm a married woman,
Meaning what?
meaning I'm not looking for company.
Then you should have said, I'm a happily married woman.
That's my business.
What?
How happy I am.
And how happy is that?
You're not too smart, are you? I like that in a man.
What else do you like? Lazy? Ugly? Horny? I got them all.
You don't look lazy. Tell me, does chat like this work with most women?
Some, if they haven't been around much.
I wondered. Thought maybe I was out of touch.
I'm gonna buy you a drink.
I told you. I've got a husband.
I'll buy him one too.
He's out of town.
My favorite kind. We'll drink to him.
Only comes up on weekends.
I'm liking him better all the time.
And scene. Okay. Slightly deeper cut.
Some of you know it. I know
I
that
know.
some of you know it.
Iconic. Yes, the hair pull
That's all part
is
of it.
from the original choreography. Okay, now here we go.
Okay, here we go. The final
Oh, my team will
film
go
of
on.
the evening.
My team will go and see on Celine Dion says, "I'm so thrilled I went on a movie binge over quarantine." Oh,
Here we go. This is number 5.
Strasser Things, otherwise known as Sarah,
That
is
was
saying was
4.
number
That was
5.
4.
That was number 4. This is number 5 coming up right now.
Hold on, let me.
Okay.
I had to really
And
dig deep. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
Okay,
ready.
well,
I got my props
try, listen.
ready.
okay. All right.
And-
Scene 5.
Action.
You're sure he was dead?
Don't ask me that again. He was dead, okay? I saw him. He's with these crabs. You do it.
Opens the trunk of the car.
No, don't. He was there, goddammit, and he was wearing your jacket, Barry.
Where'd he go? Did the crabs take him away?
I swear to God, he took the body. He came and he took the body.
Why would he do that?
I don't know, Barry. Okay. Why would he try to run you over? Why did he make coleslaw on Helen's head? He's fucking with us.
Come on, Julie. Let's go back to the house.
Where's your jacket, Barry? Don't you see? He's got us now, okay? This is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police, not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there, and he's watching, and he's waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
And scene. Okay.
Woo!
What film is that from? The lines are open. You can start sending your answers into the sidekick, Mr. Jeffords. He is in the midst of just recuperating.
Yeah, I just gotta really...
Yeah, you gotta shake it off, especially that last one.
Yeah,
really
very-
activated the system. Okay, so yeah. All right. Our best friends. I'm not sure if we should just try one more time to get the story on the
Well, now that-
necklace, but I also don't want to throw off people who are busy trying to
We're
come
here.
up. Oh, okay, you're here. You're here.
We've been here.
Oh, you've been here. Okay, well, I tried to unmute you before and I didn't hear you back.
Maybe we had to unmute ourselves.
I think it was our computer. It was a whole
Oh,
rigmarole.
God. In the past, I have
It was
muted.
Mel's fault.
You
It
know
was
what?
my fault, probably.
That's
You know what? It's nobody's fault. It's just what happened in the moment. So okay, so let's. I'm trying to actually find you on here so I can make your screen come up.
on
But you know
speaker
what? I'm just gonna keep it on speaker view, and essentially, that's fine. So okay.
Good, Poutine. I don't know if you've noticed that I have renamed our team our former best friends.
Oh,
major diss.
Well, I don't know if you saw the whole chat, but everybody else could hear us.
Just 'cause we broke your code.
We felt a little dissed by you, but you know what? Now you have
Why
made
that
up for it.
is. So we have to do, in addition to double checking the Bananarama detail, we may have to go back in and do a little Zoom session.
You know what? I'm going to change it back, guys. You're back in the fold.
Okay, so now
God.
listen, Otrivia Newton-John, I know, is desperate to hear the story behind this necklace. Could you please enlighten him and others?
Well, I bought that necklace, I think, out east. I loved it, but every time I wore it, Steven would take it off my neck and put it on his and kind of like touch himself a little while we were hanging out and really just be
It was a very arousing experience wearing this necklace. Okay, so she got it out east.
I don't remember there isn't like some big detailed story about where I got it. I just know that it really suited you.
Now, when
And I
you
found myself every
say
time
what are you referring to?
the necklace.
But where out? Did you go to India or?
Sorry, not out. Yeah, not in India. I think I meant east, like Montauk.
Oh,
Like
East
East
Long
Hampton,
Island.
Long Island.
Okay, I see.
Sorry.
Okay, now also the other thing I wanted to check in with you on is the pronunciation of the 3 varieties of blood orange. Could you say for me, do you know them or do you need me to prompt you?
Moro, you said, what is it? Moro, and then what was the second one?
Tarocco.
What was it?
Tarocco.
Tarocco.
And-
Bene, è molto bene.
Sanguinello.
What was the last one?
Sanguinello.
Sanguinello. Sanguinello. Sì, certo.
Salminio.
Okay. Well,
Salminio. Perfettamente.
great.
Oh, anyway, so yeah, I gave it to Steven because he really wanted it. And it just suited him. Doesn't it, you guys? Doesn't it just look gorgeous on his neck,
Yeah.
his collarbones?
Well, listen, thank you so much for the necklace, for enlightening us on the proper pronunciation, and thank you for being, as always, our best.
Our best friends. Always.
Okay. So then, oh God, I'm new. I'm
You
new.
did all sorts of just mute them. Or whatever.
Where do you see? Do you see where to mute them?
Guys, we're new here. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't-
Okay, I'm gonna do it
I
over
can't
here.
be bothered right
All right. So now, I can be bothered. Okay, she has muted themselves. Gonna go back to speaker view, but then I'm still looking at Mel.
And I don't want to.
So we have a little bit of Zoom work to do as homework before next week.
Last week went so well.
Last week and the week before went so well. Anyway, these aren't major technical glitches, but we'll get to the bottom of them. Don't you
all
worry,
right.
everybody. Okay, anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the answers from round 3.
Yes, many of you are doing quite well. You
Wow.
love movies.
Okay, so this is great. All right, so SWEATFLIX scene 1 is from the iconic Elizabeth Taylor Paul Newman classic Cat on a Hot Tin Roof by the one and only Tennessee Williams. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Scene 2, another iconic hot film, Wet Hot American Summer. Our Best Friends, I hope you got that one. Wet Hot American Summer. Scene 3, from the iconic, and I would like to just give a little extra Oscar nom pat on the back to Sidekick Mr. Jeffords for his full inhabitation of Marilyn Monroe in Some Like It Hot. Some Like It Hot. Okay, scene number 4, like I said, a slightly deeper cut, but a classic
People are getting it.
nonetheless. You probably got it from when I pulled my hair up, just like Kathleen Turner does in the film.
My old landlord's ex-wife.
No way.
Yeah.
Body Heat. The film is Body Heat. If you haven't seen it or haven't seen it recently, highly recommended. Wonderful film. Really just bang on. Best movie Our Best Friends has seen. Yeah. Okay, scene number 5. A little bit more out of the box, but still in the realm of SWEATFLIX, hot movies. Scene number 5 is from the iconic Jennifer Love Hewitt vehicle, Ryan Felipe in I Know What You Did Last Summer. You got it, Chocolate Boys. I know not to be confused with I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay, so Sidekick Mr. Jeffords is tallying up the scores. We will announce those, as always, at the beginning of next week's show. And guess what, folks? We are officially at the halfway point of Feelz Right Quiz Night.
Wow.
But don't you worry, because it is still anyone's game. Friendly reminder that we post a clue collage every Monday on our Instagram page. If you saw today's collage, probably inspired your subconscious to come up with a bunch of the answers on tonight's quiz. Tomorrow, the collage will be deconstructed in our stories, so check in there if you want to see all the layers of the collage and their meaning. Other than that, a big thank you to our stream queens watching on YouTube, and a huge thank you to all of the contestants. We will see you next week, and until then, sleep tight, fight the good fight, be polite, and always do what feels right.
Good night.